We also know that linear thinking is not going to be the norm of the day. We also have to think much more efficiently so that we are at the pivot point of the exponential change. We all agree with this because we all are the change bearers one or the other time and contributing back to the society so that this transformation can happen seamlessly. So where did we start? We started somewhere. In this entire, terminology is what is mentioned on the slide. We still have a long way to go. We started with digitization. Digitize everything. We have seen it from mails to be, transforming to emails. We have seen our cards getting digitized. Everything in and around got digitized. That was the first phase of this transformation. But at the same time, now that we have digitized that, we also need to collect the data. So we have started datification. Right? We have started generating those data so that it can make sense to the business. Right? Then we started codifying it. Cognification so that actually we have connected two or more technologies and ensuring that actually there is an outcome which is business oriented coming out of this technology or the usage of these technologies. We also felt, by using all of these technologies, we need to now bring more value to the business. So we started disintermediation. That is, for example, we have started evolving the business into a completely different model. And we can see that various businesses which has transformed, the transformation has already happened. The delivery models have changed, the business models have changed. The traditional way of doing business is not the norm of the day. We also start automizing it so that it can become more effective and efficient. Right? So the technologies which are propelling these changes is what is going to take us to the future. Then robotization came in. We can see autonomous, semi-autonomous cars coming in. We can see robots taking over human beings and doing particular tasks which can be programmatically or cognitively programmed to these robots. We also have seen augmenting data now, right? So that we can superimpose those thoughts in real time, and those real time things can be seen as a reality even before it is getting implemented as a new business model, right? So this is the way, this is the path we have taken. Some of it we have already surpassed. And we are ahead, going ahead and trying to see that how these transformations, how these technology propelled transformation can be implemented in our business. Right. So we spoke about this, the datification of data so that we can collect the data. I'm just going to take you skip through the slides so that we understand what we are talking about. Cognification in terms of reality. When it comes to patients, when it comes to doctors, automating those messages so that actually, the human interventions can be much more reduced. We also so I'm not talking about virtualization in terms of infrastructure. I'm talking about virtualization in terms of a real business problem, or how we can reduce those challenges, how we can reduce those changes. So Amelia can talk natural language, machine learning. And then NLPs, NLP programming or natural language in terms of the way humans are speaking, so it can be programmed, right? And then we speak to her over the phone, we will not understand actually, there is this is made out of the virtualizing the entire environment or simulating it completely. Disintermediation is the best example. We have reduced or we have cut down on the brokers, vendors, etc., and trying to bring in the real value a farmer can produce from the market to the customers. So the business models are actually changing. And then we started automating it. Industry automation and various other automations which we already know about. Right? I'm heading to a subject. Robotization, lot of human interventions, a lot of activities which are done by human are virtually done by robots right now. Organization, as which I told about, in real time, we can superimpose it. It is in oil and mining or whichever market you talk about. We have already started implementing some of these technologies. So, and thereby, this technology offers amazing possibilities to us. When I am saying amazing possibility, each one of us, whichever vertical or whichever business unit we come from, some of this technology can be implemented or may have been implemented. Right? Artificial intelligence is actually changing as intelligent assistance. Earlier it was actually, we were very used to the terminology up to now called artificial intelligence. Now it is actually changing. It is changing the entire context of it. It is now transforming to intelligent assistance. So these are some of the use cases before even we need what we need to have, or let's say from a real-time scenario, the assisted intelligence will tell you what you need to have. Right, so some of the use cases which we have, which I have put across. And then robots are going to be the new norm of the life. If you go to some countries wherein data centers are completely managed by robots to a great extent. Right? So we can see those transformations which is happening in real time. Speaking to the machine is like a new friend. We have already started talking in our house. Hey, hi Alexa, hi Google. Right? So that has become a norm of the life now. Norm of the life in the sense actually, earlier when we get up, actually we are so used to go through the newspapers. Now we don't have to do that actually. A touch of a button or just by saying, a few words to the connected device in your house, it will give you all the updates in the morning, when you speak to the machine. So it has become, it is going to be even more prevalent in the coming future. This is what I talked about. Machine is going to tell you what you need. It is going to assess the parameters from your body, right? And then it is going to tell you in terms of calorie, in terms of proteins, in terms of nutrients, what is that you require. And then there is going to be something wherein a human is going to establish a relationship with a machine. So that is going to transform this entire world. So why I spoke about this is that actually all of these things is going to open up a lot of possibilities for us. A lot of possibilities. I'm not going to dwell deep into that. But we can see these are the technologies which we have created and some of it we have implemented. But few things we still may have possibilities to undergo. Just to give you a perspective about what this technology means for the real-time business. If you look back, some of the non-IT organizations, right? The market capitalization is what exactly you can see. The data is slightly dated, but this is just to give you a perspective, right? On the left-hand side, you can see that Apple, Alphabet, Microsoft, Amazon, they have become the market leaders in terms of market capitalization. So we know where the technology is going, how exactly it is going to implement in our day-to-day life. We spoke about it, but again, just to give you a perspective, actually, how the autonomous car sales is going to surge by 2035 is a report. And this report shows that actually, we were well used to the automatic cars. Now the autonomous cars coming in, slowly that's going to take the market share. So the business models are really, really changing. So, this is a use case from Adobe. From a perpetual model of licensing, they have now a subscription-based model licensing. And how the revenue started changing. So I'm talking about using technology and changing the complete business model itself. Right? And this is a slide where Ford and Amazon are connected with Alexa. So how this is going to interconnect and how these technologies are going to talk to each other. We're not talking about humans speaking to a machine. The machines are going to talk to each other. But these are all in the real-time scenario. Now, having said that, Cloud4C as an organization has thought through this thought process. When you see Cloud4C is not a infrastructure as a service organization. We have business models to support various requirements of our customers, and work together with the customers or the partners and create business new models around it. Let me take you through that. CloudForce is from an organization, is born in a cloud company. This is a unit of Control-S data centers. Control-S has got 4 data centers in India, and all of these 4 data centers are Tier 4 data centers, and that was starting. We wanted to lay the base. And then we started having the cloud environment or cloud infrastructure. And then we started maturing in that space, and then we saw that actually addressing the issues of the infrastructure alone will not going to solve the entire issue. So we need to have a solution-led approach, right? And then we are the largest global premium partner of SAP HANA, and we have a lot of IPs internally which supports, or we work with the partners to ensure that actually those technologies are taken to our customers so that they can use it for their own resolving their business issues, business problems, right? Customization, control, compliance. This has been some of the key pillars, when we talk about Control-S Cloud Platform. And it's a global community cloud provided to meet the industry standards. Let's talk about it for a minute. Today, CloudForce has started from India, and now it is spread across 25 countries. We started, as I said, as infrastructure service, but we understand this market, and a market, they on a regular basis, the standards and the compliances are changing. And then more and more requirement of in-country data residency and vertical compliances, regulations, etc. is coming into picture. So we thought, okay, fine, we need to have cloud boards where the other cloud service providers are not present so that we can have a footprint there. That is where we started. We started off with Southeast Asia. Name the country, we are there actually, in almost every the stretch. Again, then we spread it into Nordics, US, LATAM, right? So all the 25 countries are today covered, and any compliances which are actually required to fulfill any vertical or a business, when we are already there. For geographically dispersed business units, this is the best platform to come and host your applications. And at the same time, we also provide end-to-end managed services. When I'm saying end-to-end managed services, that end-to-end managed services is also supported by something like an SLA to an application level. We work again with our partners, for example, to ensure that SLAs are met. It is not only the infrastructure as a service from an infrastructure or an SLA standpoint, but also we can extend those SLAs. So earlier you had an SLA for infrastructure, earlier you had an SLA for application, right? So 2 different applications which actually not resolving any core issue, because when a disruption happens or when there is an issue, there is definitely a finger pointing happening, that is an infrastructure problem and application problem. So we have resolved a lot of things. This is what I'm talking about. When you have mission critical applications to be hosted out, then you need to have a model which can support all of these business issues so that your applications run seamlessly out of these cloud platforms. Experience with the regulatory compliance. So my next slides are going to talk about that. For every country has got different requirements, different compliances. We spoke about it. Europe, GDPR, SAMA. In India we have radicalized actually PCI DSS, HIPAA, etc., etc. And for that we need to have specialized and purpose-built cloud platforms. A generic cloud platform is not going to resolve today's business issues. If you need to have an application which has to be from the BFSI segment or a banking segment, we need to have a cloud platform which is completely having the ecosystem of the banking environment, which need to go through the audit, compliances, etc., and then also have to have the in-country compliances and certifications. And that is what we have come up with. We have something called a community cloud as an offering for BFSI segment, which is banking, insurance, etc. And then we also have for government as a community cloud, so that all of those hassles of getting certified these environments are being taken care of. We spoke about the spread and reach and the footprint of Cloud for C, 25 countries, 40 locations. And all of these 40 locations are also covered by, federating the data to the other cloud service providers as well. When I am saying other cloud service providers, it is the hyperscalers, which is existing because we know enterprises are not going to host the entire set of data from a single cloud service provider. And it is in the real time, which we have studied this market. And thereby, when we host a cloud environment or we bring up a cloud environment, we ensure that the connects which are required for the hyperscaler are also existing in that particular data center. And then the orchestration layer which we have also give you a flexibility so that you can federate those data to other cloud service providers and manage it from a single window. And I'm saying when you have a touch point, a single touch point to manage the entire infrastructure which is dispersed across the hyperscale or the private cloud and the Cloud for C platform. And that's the spread which we have. Looking back a decade or more, we have 3,500 plus customers today. Esteemed customers directly on the cloud platform. We also have made the models, different models for the cloud. As I said, community cloud is one of the models. There are different offerings which are aligned to specific verticals as well. This is a global presence and SAP partnership. SAP, we are a premium partner in application, not only for one specific thing, on all the 4 quadrants. We are certified in the application managed services, operation services, hosting services, and in cloud services. That essentially means that if you want to have an SAP HEC environment to be hosted, right, and then we can host it for you, irrespective of the country which you choose out of these 25 countries, including the compliance and security controls which are required to fulfill the business requirement from a larger perspective. SOC 1, SOC 2, PCI DSS, ISO certifications, and we are headstrong of 1,800 plus only from the technology standpoint. That means the delivery and the core team which are supporting from a data center standpoint, only the technical guys, 1,800 people just to support all of this environment. So it's a slightly dated. This is hosted in 25 countries, compliant to sovereign laws which we talked about, regulator approved, security stack, so that you don't have to go through that entire pain of getting this certified. And it's in a highly secured environment. As I told you, that actually around 40 controls which has been put, customized based on the medical requirements. A single SLA to the application login. This is what I said. This is a SLA has been stitched across the partners, and we deliver those SLAs at the application login. And then comprehensive security, flexible pricing, and business scalability. When I'm saying flexible pricing, it's not only pricing, when we say about a per diem or whatever actually, which is kind of a commoditized when you go to the hyperscales, we are talking about something which is a transaction-oriented pricing. We are talking about something like, for example, in a banking environment, we have something called bank in a box, and the volume of the business is really high. We get into the transaction pricing in terms of the branches and the banks and the customers. So innovative commercial modeling is something which we are very, very good at. This is a snapshot of the comprehensive offerings what we have. ERP, community cloud, spoke about bank in a box, is a flagship offering. A lot of banks are hosted on this. Earlier or traditionally, the banks are hosted, and the name of CloudForce is actually derived from it in India. The 4-copy cloud, primary DR, HA, and then the data vaulting, right? So that is the thought process behind creating this cloud. Bank in a box with the PCI DSS compliance. You also get the ecosystem. So we work together with our esteemed partners like Infosys, Intellect, and then get all those platforms on the cloud so that when you go to the customer or the customer want to host the platform, it's already available there. The ecosystem is set. That means your sales cycle is reducing. At the same time, for a customer, it is something what they are seeing is what they are getting. minus whatever customization which has to go through a system integrator. And to support all of that, we have managed services. We also manage the services for the applications which are hosted on other hyperscale cloud environment like Azure or Google, IBM Cloud, and at the same time AWS, Amazon. So you get a single managed service provider to manage your entire application, irrespective of where exactly it is hosted out of. That's about it. I'll briefly play you a small video of corporate profile, and that's it. Thank you so much. Thank you for your attention.